In centuries past, or maybe even just yesterday, people have milked cows by hand. And where do they put this milk after they're done? Well, in milk jugs, of course.
All right, guys. So we have this really nice piece of live edge wood here that's going to make a great top for our side tables. Now it is a little bit on the long side, so I'm going to cut it in half and put each half on top of the two milk jugs that I have to make our side tables. So let's get started. All right, guys, I'm going to attempt to take the lid off of this thing so that we can actually attach this to our side table top by screwing in through the bottom and having it secured together. And then I'm going to put this back on after we get done with all the staining. So let's give this a shot. All right, that was pretty simple. So on to staining. All right, so actually before we start staining, I do want to sand this to make it a lot smoother and a lot nicer. I am, after staining it, going to put on a clear coat poly so that way it can withstand beverages, food, things like that, because I do plan on putting some of my dinner and my drinks on the side tables while I'm watching television. So here we go. All right, now that I've got the top all sanded nice and smooth, because there is some soft spots in the wood, there is a little bit of a wave. Not much I can do about it. Unfortunately, it is too big to run through my planer to actually get it to where it's nice and flat on both sides, so there is a little bit of bow. Now, I don't want to sand the edges. I want to keep them nice, but they're a little bit dirty, so I'm going to use this barbecue brush just to kind of scrape off the dirt. Then it still leaves me with a nice raw material here for the live edge. Now I did the same thing for a fireplace mantle. that I put in our living room. I am going to use the same stain color, which is the gun stock. This right here. It's one of my favorite stain colors because it gives it a dark, rich look to it. And when you put it on, it will actually inverse. Whatever the light color is now becomes the dark color becomes light, and it just really shows the green really super well. And so then I'll put this on, and I'll do the edges here, let it dry. I'll do the other side. I might do a couple of coats. We'll see how dark it is, and then I'm going to put a poly on top of that. So let's get to it. All right, just from what I'm seeing, one coat I think is going to be plenty. And I did it heavy enough that it's a pretty dark color, and I'm liking it. And once we put the glossy clear coat on there, it's going to really pop. So we're going to let this dry so I can do the other side. See you then. All right, now we're going to add the polyurethane to give it a nice glossy finish and to also make it very durable. All right, I'm going to let this dry overnight, and tomorrow I'm going to give it another coat or two. See you then. All right, guys, welcome back. So now I'm going to take a 220 grit sandpaper and kind of scuff up the polyurethane of the first coat that I put on, and I'm going to put on a second coat. See how this is actually a 3 times. I think doing it twice will be plenty. Let's get to it. All right, I'm going to let that cure before I attach it to the lid of our milk jug. And after all said and done, we'll have a complete side table. See you later. All right, now that this is all dry, I'm going to take the lid of our milk jug, place it on the bottom side of the piece of wood that we're going to use for our top of our side table. Try and center it up as much as possible. I've got some screws here, my handy dandy drill, and we're going to just attach this. All right, now that we got the lid attached to the piece of wood, let's put it on top of our milk jug. right, I noticed that there is a gap in between the wood and the lid, so I'm going to secure it a lot better. There, that's a lot more secure. All right, we now have one finished side table using our milk jug and a piece of live edge wood. So this one's now complete. I do have another milk jug. It was quite rusty, so I sandblasted that one. And now all I need to do is to prime it and then paint it and stain another piece of wood that the other half of this piece that we cut earlier. So I'll see you soon.